It was really rare to have someone in my position to be able to write a book about the Compton Cowboys, right? It's usually, a white guy from like some other part of the world. It was a really rare experience to do that, and it was really incredible. My name is Walter Thompson Hernandez, and I was born and raised in Huntington Park, California. I'm the child of an African-American father and Mexican mother, and I think for me, it was always about trying to find ways to really exercise and represent both identities. I think the biggest challenge was really sort of like existing in a world that I had to sort of like pick between African-American and between Mexican. And I think, for young people and young children, right, like we are really sort of prone to taking in what the world wants us to be. If you see me out in the world, like how I move to the world is like very sort of rooted in my experience as a Black and brown person. I'm not half of anything. My parents didn't give half of me to me. They gave all of themselves. And because of that, I'm someone who identifies so strongly with both communities. When society and the world kind of was like telling me that like being Mexican wasn't something that was valued in this country, my mom was kind of telling me a different story, right? She was telling me the opposite. She was telling me that I should be proud about who I am and where I come from. And so for me, like identifying as Chicano has always been really important because it kind of just like allows me to both be fully present in this experience, but also honor the experiences of my relatives in Mexico. Latinos have had such a big role in creating a lot of what this country is. And so when I think about the fabric of this nation, I don't think there's one fabric, right? I think there's like many fabrics of this nation. But to me, Latinos make up a really important part of that fabric. I've always been really curious about the world, and I've always been really curious about culture and about people and about identities. And so for me, like being a storyteller, journalist, artist, has always kind of existed. I'm proud of a lot of the work that I do. I think the stories that I work on are really rooted in the community experience. It gave me a chance to really ask people questions about their lives in ways that related to my own. In all of my sort of like deep questions about identity and about challenges related to race and identity, I kind of realized that I was never alone, right? I really think about the Compton Cowboys a lot because it was sort of like one of the rare moments like someone from the community was able to write a book about Black men and women who are cowboys in ways that like was kind of different. I'm someone who identifies strongly with that community, and it was really rare to have someone in my position to be able to write a book about the Compton Cowboys, right? It's usually, a white guy from like some other part of the world. It was a really rare experience to do that, and it was really incredible. It's my hope, right, that the work I do, that the stories that I tell, using different mediums, really provoke people to think and act about the world in different ways. I think I would encourage my community to move pa'lante. I think number one is to recognize like how powerful we are and to recognize like the influence that we have both in the US and in the world. I think like stories of migration, stories of resilience and sacrifice to me are really beautiful and special and powerful. It starts with realizing that our stories really matter. There's nothing to be ashamed of in terms of our background and in terms of how we got to this country. Xfinity is celebrating the diverse voices of our Latino community and all the ways we move the world pa'lante. Join us and share yours.